All right, you're back in the Mikhail Bakunin studios, so you know what that means. Thanks for not trusting the plan, instead taking the stand with the most shadow banned man in the land, Lamar Aizmo, back with another video. And if you didn't see my prior uh, interview with Rudolph Barches, I actually tried to do a video a few days ago, but YouTube blocked me. So let's hope that this video actually makes it through. But with that out of the way, we had to talk about Donald Trump and the latest accusations that he may have insulted dead United States soldiers. Now, if this is true and his followers and supporters still follow and support him, it'll really be, it'll just show that once you get people hooked, like, I mean, you could pretty much do anything to some people apparently, or or do the exact opposite. Because one of the things that Trump is trying to do now is act as if he's some sort of anti-war president. Where I just recently saw he said that the generals are, to paraphrase it, he's basically accusing the generals of wanting war and to perpetuate the military-industrial complex. When this is the same guy who incessantly brags about how much money he spent on the military and how they were in terrible shape, but we made them strong again. Um, Even though the United States already spends more on the military than the next six countries combined. Not just that our government here in the United States spends more money on the military than anyone else in the world. You combine the following six countries, and you know we still spend more than them, including heavyweights like Russia and China. So when you combine Russia and China's military expenditure with four other countries, we still spend more money than that. And this buffoon gets on national television or in front of the nation and repeatedly brags about how he upped that same budget that we don't need. And speaking of that, you have commentators, because my last video I did with Rudolph Barshich, you have Jeff Nearquist, I believe, who respect to Jeff being a conservative who can argue without any fallacies or I give him respect for that, but he actually is assuming that, like other conservatives, that the United States is somehow under threat from Russia and China, even though, and I've said this numerous times, but it's always worth repeating. If we're ever in a situation where we're in a shooting war, an actual physical, full blown war with Russia and China, start making your peace with God and spending time with your loved ones. Because if there's a war between us and China or us and Russia, the northern hemisphere at the very least will be destroyed. I mean, I can't picture any side of that war wanting to lose the war, because we all know from the United States history that you have to, post the 20th century, we have this thing called unconditional surrender. And we started this with the Germans, and we were supposedly in World War One making the world safe for democracy, when really all we did was make it safe for fascism and Bolshevism. But okay, so you have World War One, and so you want to end dictatorial monarchies. So you get rid of the German Empire in World War One, and then you get a worse outcome. You get Adolf Hitler, and you also get rid of the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the Ottoman Empire as well. And the results are all worse from that. And then you still are friends to this very day. The United States is in a very cozy and one-sided relationship, because Saudi Arabia actually benefits more. But we're in a great relationship with one of the most brutal absolute monarchies left on the planet. But we were supposed to be making the world safe for democracy in that conflict. Yeah, so you have that as a factor, and you know, the hypocrisy, as I said, I've also said this a lot of times too. The United States, along with England, are the record setters for hypocrisy. These countries, talk about the rule of law and wanting to get rid of dictatorships and people like Muammar Gaddafi or Bashar al-Assad, but again, their allies are either just as bad as they claim those individuals are, or worse. Um, it's I don't know what to make of it, and people still fall for it. You still have pundits in the mainstream media, whether it be MSNBC, CNN, or Fox News, and they still pretend as if the United States is against dictators, and that they'll pretend like Bashar al-Assad is like the worst leader in the world. When if it wasn't for Bashar al-Assad, you would have ISIS in control of Syria, which I think I guess they would prefer that because despite what you also heard from DJ Chump, ISIS is still around. The pockets of Syria that the United States controls near the Al Tanf region of Syria and the surrounding area, there are ISIS cells throughout that area. So throughout eastern Syria, bordering along western Iraq, where the United States intervened and stopped the allies of Hezbollah, the Syrian government, and other Shia militias, along with Russia. They stopped them from actually destroying these Salafi terrorists in that region. And as we could all see, what's happening with Idlib, one of our favorite Uncle Tom slash insane terrorist, Bilal Abdul Karim, was abducted and beaten by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, also known as HTS, who used to go by the name of Jabhat al-Nusra, who used to be, or actually is a branch of Al-Qaeda. And we allow the Turks to protect them, to this day. As I speak, I believe they're still in control of most of Idlib. So it's incredible, but yet you again this buffoon slash clown, this orange bastard in the White House is still enjoying a significant following. As I was listening to the news today, they say he may be ahead in the Rust Belt states. So if the people of Michigan, Wisconsin, pretty much the Great Lakes region, and you can throw in Pennsylvania as well, if they vote for Trump again, they're I mean, because I expect that from the South, these former Ku Klux Klan territories. I expect them to vote because one of the things that one of the promises that he has kept was his low level support for white supremacy. His lukewarm, basically he panders to white supremacists still and racists. So why, and he's made it acceptable to behave in an uncouth fashion towards people you don't like because of their ethnic backgrounds. He's actually made that okay again for some people. And we all know, in addition to that, his presidency has pretty much been a gift to Israel. Everything that he has accomplished of significance has been towards Israel. He gave them Jerusalem, he gave them the Golan Heights, and he also gave them most of the West Bank with the phony peace deal. And he helped one of the most disgusting individuals in charge of a significant country, Mohammed bin Salman, who Mohammed bin Salman is still punishing his relatives and trying to seize absolute power. We'll keep an eye on him, but one of his cousins who he had in charge of the war in Yemen, he's sacking him for corruption because they said he actually was a competitor or a potential competitor for succession. The former crown prince, he's already put him under house arrest. And as we can all see, the United Arab Emirates has totally exposed make no mistake about it, Saudi Arabia and the UAE are already in cahoots with Israel. It's just that the UAE was bold enough, and unfortunately, I used to give Oman credit, but apparently Oman is also in cahoots with Israel as well to a degree. Um, all of this is bad news. They're allowing Israel direct flights, so it won't be surprising that in a while, if you see significant social problems happening in the United Arab Emirates, because one of the things that oh, and by the way, the United States displayed its total, yet even more total bootlicking and subservience to Zionism, because they've actually said it again out loud that Israel, the United States is basically going to help Israel maintain its qualitative edge in the region, which they don't even have that. They have the latest and the greatest air power, but they don't have a military edge because they're people just like the people who are fighting against the people of Yemen. They're not fighting for anything real except for aggression and monetary gain. Whereas their opponents are fighting for everything, everything that really is important in life. So which is why they need the United States to guarantee their safety, because once you had an institution established like Hezbollah, the Israelis can't win a war against, well, at least for sure for Lebanon and probably Syria by now, because if Israel were to actually attack and invade Syria, it would be a brutal war of attrition that they wouldn't be able to win. Just that's why they won't attack Hezbollah directly anymore. Their people are not willing, or they're not willing and they're not able to win a war of aggression these days, because now the Arabs know after 70 plus years now, I believe, of dealing with them, that you have people, if you allow them a foothold, if you do allow them to win, they're not going to show any mercy. We don't have to talk about all the massacres over the years that Israel did to neighbors, but yeah, it's looking interesting in Southwest Asia as always. We talked a little bit about how Trump is trying to win re-election. Another thing that they're doing is playing this whole law and order nonsense, which if Trump can't rein in, if these protests and these anti-law and order things are happening right now under his watch, who's to say that he'll be able to rein it in if he were to win again? So all these people who are claiming, because you see in the mainstream media, they're saying, oh, people are afraid now Biden's losing some of the lead because people are worried about the unrest. Well, who is the unrest happening under? And has this clown, this idiot, this guy who never earned anything, who never worked for anything in his life, is his policy stopping these riots now? And if he does, you have all these fake civil libertarians who are on the right. Trump has done a lot of draconian and anti-democratic things. He's actually had people snatched off the street, put in unmarked vehicles. That's a dangerous precedent. But again, these people don't care when it's their guy doing it. And to be fair, sir, there's some Democrats who are like that as well. So all of this is bad news and significant in the wrong way. Looks like I'm going to exceed my 13-minute time limit, but so I'll conclude now. Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout Thursday. I'll probably do another talk with Rudolph Barshich, but that's it for now. Donate to any of the above places if you can. If not, just tell a friend who's going to tell a friend about Lamar Azmo. Thanks for watching.